Aduh, bobo. Wajib Pak Widi dah tu. God love this. Hey.
Hansi Flick's Barcelona set a historic club record by winning 16 consecutive home matches since the start of La Liga after defeating Espanyol 4-1. They moved very close to securing the La Liga title, opening a 9-point lead over Real Madrid with 7 games remaining. The standout performer was Lamine Yamal, who was directly involved in every goal.
I said at half-time, they needed that one goal to go to 3-0, which is, the boy said in commentary, the offside goal just before Espanyol scored would have been the goal that really softened the second half for them. But straight off the back of that today, so got the job done. I was surprised how tight it was in the second half, and I was also a wee bit surprised that those two superstars, Lamine Yamal and Pedri, bearing in mind Pedri was a little on the iffy side in midweek in terms of his fitness, I was surprised he played a whole 90 plus minutes.
Yeah.
What do you do if you're Hansi Flick in terms of the front line? Lewandowski's obviously been back in the side, Ferran Torres got a game today, got a couple of goals, obviously he's been out of form. Are you're going away to the Metropolitano, are you going for the movement and the pace up front of Ferran Torres, or are you going for the old experienced head and the goal scorer in Lewandowski?
I mean, here there are different ways of seeing it, but for me right now, very important, and seeing the way that he was played the first game, I think that Lewandowski can be very helpful in the Metropolitano. I'm not expecting at Atletico de Madrid that is going to go and play an open game against Barcelona. We watched them with 10 men, even dominated the game against Atletico de Madrid. We watched today Barcelona once again dominating, playing very well in the middle of the park, understanding how to break the pressure of Espanyol, and we've seen that quite often. The problem with Barcelona is that they get exposed and then they can have problems, but you need a player in the middle to receive the crosses from Rashford or whoever is playing the left side, from Lamine Yamal, the passes through the lines from Fermin, from Pedri. We might see Frankie you're getting involved into the game, but you need attacking man. You need a centre forward who can hold the ball, who can give you a breath, and also who can stick the centre backs. Managing those two centre backs allow the runs from midfield into the channels, and I think that Barcelona is very, very good on that, and they're going to need that against Atletico de Madrid to score the first one.
Just quickly before we go to the highlights of this game, looking at those players coming off the field, they might not all be up to speed and fully fit, but look at the choices he's got. Talked about Fermin Lopez, Luis and Dani Olmo there. Obviously Rafinha's out, but Rashford's come in and done a decent job. Gavi's back. Frankie de Jong's back with some sort of fitness. Pedri's unscathed, it seems. Lamine Yamal's unscathed. Yes, Pau Cubarsi's going to be out, but you look at the midfield combinations, whilst not all maybe up to match speed in sort of a perfect sense, they're available. So he's got quite a big chunk of players available for this game in midweek, so it's going to be really interesting. I just mentioned the forward players there. There's so many positions and combinations, including the back line, that he could change or mix up. So if he gets his team selection correct for the game, I think it's on Tuesday, then we could be in for a hell of a night.
Lamine made his mark in his 100th La Liga appearance. According to Opta data, he not only set a new record by becoming the youngest player in La Liga history to reach that milestone. At 18 years and 272 days, the previous record belonged to Raul Gonzalez, 19 years and 284 days, followed by Iker Muniain, 19 years and 293 days. Lamine provided a corner assist for Ferran Torres to open the scoring and shortly after delivered a precise trivela pass that led to the second goal. He scored the third himself in a moment of brilliance, pressing Dimitrovic after an accurate pass from Casado, and also initiated the play for Rashford's fourth goal. He passed to De Jong inside the box before the Dutchman set up the English forward to complete the route. Lamine also came close to scoring his first direct free kick goal. Hansi Flick reacted ironically to an offside call against Eric Garcia, suggesting it was almost impossible to detect. The incident sparked controversy because the VAR replay did not clearly resolve the situation. After a cross from Lamine Yamal, Eric headed the ball and Ferran finished it into the net, but the goal was ruled out for offside after review. The moment proved decisive. Shortly afterward, Espanyol scored through Lozano, making it 2-1. De Jong's positive return after 6 weeks out was a sign that Barcelona may still be alive in the Champions League. Pedri was in excellent form, complemented by the pressing of Gavi and Fermin. The victory boosted the fans' confidence ahead of the match against Atletico Madrid. With more than 60,000 supporters in the stadium, a record since the reopening of Camp Nou, there was a strong sense of celebration and connection between the team and the crowd, who believe in another big result. Gerard Martin caused concern for Barcelona after feeling discomfort in his right leg during the match. The defender went down with calf pain, received treatment, continued until halftime, but was later substituted and remained on the bench with ice on the area. Despite the scare, Flick reassured fans, stating it is not serious and that the player should be available for the important Champions League clash against Atletico Madrid. Lamine delivered a brilliant performance, a perfect day for Barcelona's number 10 on the eve of the crucial match against Atletico. In his first 99 La Liga appearances, Lamine Yamal recorded 28 goals and 27 assists. With his 3 direct contributions in this match, the young forward now has 29 goals and 29 assists in 100 La Liga games. He was named the MVP of the match. There is always external noise around me, more often negative than positive. It bothers them, but I'm always focused on myself, on working and improving. Sometimes things don't go as planned, but it's not for lack of effort, said Ferran Torres. Regarding his individual role, he emphasized that, at the end of the day, of course, a forward is judged by goals. It's true that I hadn't scored for a while, but I've always believed in hard work, which brings rewards and comes when you're patient. Until we win, nothing is decided. Anything can happen, but we have to win everything that depends on us and take it 3 points at a time. Now we have to think about the Champions League. The 16 home victories took place in 3 different stadiums: Montjuic, Estadio Johan Cruyff, and Spotify Camp Nou. Since taking charge of the club in the summer of 2024, Flick has recorded 50 home matches with 41 wins, 4 draws, 5 losses, and 100 goals scored.
Yeah.
And they can't keep clean sheets. You know, that's also sometimes if you're not necessarily performing at your best, can you say, you know what, we can grind out a 1-0 win if we need to. Not have a great performance, but find a way to keep a clean sheet and win a match, and they can't do that.
So Bayern are big favourites to go through, Luis. They've obviously got the advantage in this tie with the second leg coming up next week. What kind of chance would you give Real Madrid to turn that around?
No, of course, Real Madrid, when they are in Champions League, they always have a chance. They always have an option. They got that mentality, and the jersey is very heavy when they arrive to different stadiums against different teams. But sometimes, and most of the times that we've seen these kind of special moments or special nights for Real Madrid is normally at home when they play at the Bernabeu. That atmosphere that it creates, the stadium, the fans, being there for all the teams is really something difficult. I think what they used to say 90 minuti at the Bernabeus are very longo. That's a fantastic word that they normally say, because it's totally true. It's very difficult to play during 90 minutes. It becomes like a long day trying to play in there and get a good result. But you have to go to Bayern and you have to try to come back. Have to score at least once or twice if you want to go through against probably the best team or one of the best team in the best form at this stage. So Bayern Munich can rest at the weekend. Players can focus on what is happening in that special night. And right now, I would say that 80% is in favor of Bayern Munich playing at home, and 20% I'm going to give to Real Madrid at this stage because of his history. Playing in this competition is always special for these players, and what we saw today is nothing of what we are gonna, or I think we are gonna see of these Real Madrid players against Bayern Munich.
Kind of where most of the boys went after the first game, sort of somewhere between 10 and 20% chance. Not impossible, but maybe improbable. And I think the key for Bayern Munich here is because they did create a lot of chances as well, and they were slightly wasteful in the final third, where Real Madrid's chances were, it was really good saves from Manuel Neuer, who performed brilliantly. But I think from Bayern Munich, for me, the key is when they have possession, particularly the two centre halves, Upamecano and Jonathan Tah, is that you can't be admiring your team's play. Oh, isn't this lovely? And then all of a sudden it's coughed up and with Mbappe and Vinicius.
Mbappe drifts wide and then he's on the run.
And I think that, and it was the key for Man City, and they completely stuffed it up, right? Because they had a lot of possession, particularly in the Bernabeu, but whenever they lost it, they were all over the place. And I think for Bayern, it is, be very, very mindful that you're organising everybody in possession when all the attacking's going on, to make sure if Real Madrid win the ball back and it's launched forward, that you're in a very good defensive position, that you're going to get there before an Mbappe or a Vinicius, because if you're not aware of where they are and you lose the ball, that's where Real Madrid will hurt you. So a lot of the key for me is how organised Bayern are defensively when all their attacking players are going forward.
Mark Pubil came on in the first half as a sub. He was already on a yellow card at this particular point, but let's take a look at this incident. We've seen it before, and we're going to show you in another instance. The keeper passes it to his player handles the ball and passes it back. The referee has not done anything here. And this is really interesting because the rule says that it is an offence if a player touches the ball with his hand, his or her hand, when the ball is in play. Now, if the keeper has kicked it to the player, the ball is officially in play, right, Jake?
Yeah, absolutely. And we've seen it before. We probably showed a clip in a little bit with Tyrone Mings a few years ago. But listen, the ball's in play. And the interesting thing is there's no pressure on him, right? So there's no reason for him to get panicky. He just doesn't want to play the game. But this is just a lapse of concentration. It should be a penalty. If he's on a yellow card, he should get sent off, and then you get a stroke of luck. But I think the referee was OK tonight if we let things go. But he got that one wrong. This is the Tyrone Mings incident of a few years ago. Where, with Tyrone, I understand why he's done it, because I think Martinez gives him the ball there, and there's a little bit of pressure in a very heated game. I covered this game.
I did it with you, actually.
Yeah,
and actually, Tyrone Mings was back in playing after a very long time out. It was his first game back, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you almost thought, did he actually forget the rules almost?
I don't know. Listen, we footballers do strange things on football pitches all the time.
I mean, nothing really forgot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I just
under
think
pressure.
It's the rules are the rules.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, I'm not a big fan of rules in any walk of life, but you need them.
Of course you're not. You're a rebel without a cause, Joe.
So, it's football. I think Barcelona are very, very unlucky not to be given a little lifeline there and back into the game, but the ref didn't give it, and we move on.
Well, we have to move on. But again, just a point on that. I mean, the ref did have a decent enough game, but that is quite an oversight, isn't it, Karen?
Did he have a decent enough game? He had to go to VAR for the sending off, which was right in front of him. That's clearly a penalty. So, yeah, I think he's got that massively wrong, and I think, unfortunately for Barcelona, that's gone massively against them tonight, because that should be a penalty, and also I think he was on a yellow card as well.
Yeah,
so he would have been given another yellow and he would have been off.
Yeah.
So the decisions have been poor, in my opinion, from the referee today, and he needed a little bit of help, and he needed help with that decision too.
Yeah. I mean, wasn't there a situation before the game where Koke and Simeone were quite vocal about the fact that they didn't like the referee and, was putting a bit of pressure on him? Listen, referees are human and they're fallible. Sometimes that could get into it. He definitely lent towards Atletico. I think with the situation with the penalty, I think we're seeing this with a lot of referees.
Free kick, sorry.
The free kick, sorry. I think a lot of referees think that make the decision and they know they've got that to fall back on.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
True.
So there's a lot of, VAR again.
VAR again. Yeah, there you go. That old chestnut, VAR again.
Mi amigo, no voy a decir la otra palabra. Que no se
No,
puede
que ya
decir.
sabes que te censuramos
No, está
rápidamente.
censurado y está bien. No, y que pido disculpas.